Tonight on Collective Stupidity. The gang can't figure out an order.
I have nothing to say about Titanic.
You don't have to talk about the Titanic. I'm just saying that the order. Dominic has a bad roommate.
Now, this may sound familiar. It should. This is tax fraud.
Oh my god.
This is illegal.
And Robert has a friend.
I have a friend. We'll call him Robert. That's not that also isn't a joke.
Are you the friend?
Is Robert you?
I think you guys are really gonna like my bit here today.
Well,
I better. After the last one was pretty bad.
Yeah, it's
Okay, listen, that was not that bad of a bit.
Well,
it was that bad of a bit.
It was that bad of a bit. Your entire premise
of nothing.
It was literally, let's do what we're already doing.
Your bit could have been an email.
Yeah, but
Robert.
we watched Top Gear. We watched Top Gear as a result.
I mean, we did. We did watch.
Yeah,
okay, I'll give you that.
I mean, that wasn't much of anything either. Like, you know?
Okay.
And that was Dominic giving us that video. That wasn't even you. You contributed nothing to that one.
No, but it happened directly as a result of my unpreparedness.
Okay.
You know what? You know what?
You.
You know the thing.
No.
The thing with that, Robert, though, is you had an extra week time to prepare after you got cheated out of that bit at the Zootopia rant,
And you've done nothing.
and you did nothing. You did nothing. You did not prepare. So the fact that you were unprepared for that bit is really on you at this point.
Okay, hold on.
I can't.
For
I
my
can't fix this.
for my bed, I have to. I can't go first, even though I don't even think that was the plan in the first
No,
place.
it
Because
wasn't.
I have to source images.
Robert, I hope you know that hit me with the Tonight the other day when we were just casually when we were playing a game. He hit me with the Tonight, and I actually started screaming about it. And I want you to know that he ruined gaming time for me the other day. He ruined Star Wars Battlefront 2 gaming time, and
You ruined my life.
I don't like you for that. Anyways, I'm gonna roll the intro now that I've finished yelling at you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Collective Stupidity podcast, or just Collective Stupidity if you're a little bit thick and stupid and you have the dunce hat on. This is the only podcast that is guaranteed to make you lose more brain cells than when you started with. We're bringing back that old ending. We're bringing it
it's
back.
tough to get more audience when you insult the audience every time we start the show.
Well, listen,
you stupid little people, you little dunce cap.
I think it's an effective hook. I think it serves as an effective hook. I think it perfectly sums up what we're trying to do here. I think it works, personally.
I suppose it does sum up how stupid we are. That is true.
Yes, exactly.
That is true.
And especially
Our goal.
because I never thought about that until you said it just now, but you are totally right. That's not a good way of going about it.
Directly insult the audience.
Yeah, but
The
that's
intelligence right there.
that's
How you do? You gotta do what you gotta do.
that is neither here nor there. But I think a good place to start today is I think we should briefly talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
The
We're
elephant.
talking about elephants.
No, we're not talking
How
about
the hell did you get an elephant in upstate New York? Where are you seeing an elephant in New York?
You don't know the people I know, okay? I know.
Did you find the streets?
I have connections that I cannot share with you right now
Seneca Park Zoo?
because the haters will try to sabotage me. Okay?
What's-
I have
what's this elephant in the
connections
room?
that I cannot share with you. The elephant in this room is I think
This elephant.
I think we need to address the fact that this might be the last Dom's People Corner we will ever have, and I think we should start off briefly with the last installment of
Dom's People Corner. Yeah, so Pope has been elected as of
Yes.
And it was me. He was me.
It was not you.
not-
Despite
it's
that
not Robert
Photoshop
Griffin.
you made of the announcement, it is still not you.
the shitty Photoshop I did in
you
like
just
4 seconds.
quickly
in
crossed
Snapchat.
out the last name, added yours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was real convincing. I mean, that's like some CNN level stuff right there.
Yeah.
That was convincing.
I was
Ooh,
legitimately
ooh.
concerned for a second, actually, but then I realized, oh wait a minute.
No, they chose a pope. I feel a little bit bad how wrong I was of how long the conclave was going to take. Like my estimate went from it'll take like 3 months to it'll take a week to actually it took about 24 hours. So I'm going to openly admit that I was just wrong. I was just like purely wrong, like irredeemably wrong.
just straight up incorrect.
I reckon they might have been thinking about it like when Pope Francis died, which makes sense.
Which makes
You don't say.
You don't say. Wow.
Long is over. But yeah, now the last installment of Dom's Papal Corner. Roll the jingle. Dom's Papal Corner. We have a pope. We have he's chosen the name Pope Leo the 14th. His actual name is Robert Francis.
Which
Prevost.
still upsets me, by the way. I wish he
Leo
had
the
an original
14th?
name. Yeah, I wish he had an original name like Francis. I was spoiled by the.
Yeah, true.
I was spoiled by the fact that Francis was the first pope that I remember having, and he had an original name, and I thought that was cool as fuck. And then I learned.
Has there been a Pope Augustine? Augustine would be a fun name, right? Pope Augustine? Actually, not Augustine, like Augustine.
That feels like it would have been a name. It might,
Yeah, but there's
we have no, we don't. I'm thinking of Augustine of Hippo, who was a theologian.
When are we gonna get
obviously.
popes with like cool names?
Yeah, when are we gonna get Pope Megatron on in the Vatican City?
Oh, that's not at all what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, when are we gonna get like a Pope Tim?
That's a cool name to you. We have two very different definitions of cool names.
Yeah,
we have
what the
Megatron.
hell?
Well, I want you to think of
and
every pope in
Tim.
existence. So it's always like I don't know, like Pope Leo, Pope,
Yeah.
God's nut suckler.
Oh, okay. Well, hey. Well.
I'm not sure about the last one, but Leo is a pretty popular name. That like Paul, John, Pius, Benedict. Those are pretty common names.
Yeah,
Pope
Nut
Glazer.
Pope Nutsuckler is definitely a pretty cool name, man.
Pope Glazer.
Pope God Glazer. Now, this does bring up an interesting question, though. I didn't know that popes chose their own names. I thought they just went with the name that they have.
No,
Yeah, I
they
also
choose
thought the
their own
same
name.
thing.
The source I'm using here is a buddy of mine who's a priest. I'm assuming it's accurate, and I guess it could be something wrong, but there's no set rules for what name you can choose. You can choose whatever name you want. It just happens that most popes tend to choose names of previous popes.
Biblical names.
So in theory, we could have.
You could choose like Pope Awesome and just just leave it at
So
that.
in theory, we could have Pope Megatron. Like that's not unreasonable.
It is theoretical. Like it's certainly within the realm of possibility. Yes. I don't think it's ever
yeah.
gonna happen, but it would be.
I think we could see that happen in our lifetime.
I really don't.
Why?
Yeah, the first Gen Z Pope could be Pope Megatron for sure.
Guys, I think I know what we need to make happen.
What?
One of you two needs to become a cardinal right now.
Oh God, I don't know if that's.
It's quite a long process. I don't think I'm gonna go down that road.
I don't think I'll be. Yeah, I'd have to like denounce. It's a whole new thing. I'd have to learn new scripture. I'd have to denounce my original religion. It's not worth it.
You'd have to become a priest, vow
have to become a
celibacy,
priest.
then become a bishop.
Well,
then
that
move to
part's not a
Rome.
big issue for Sam, but
Oh,
regardless.
fuck you, man.
Oh, get womp womp, Sam. Get womp womp.
Oh, what? Okay, nice. We got a vocal buh. We got a vocal
We got
buh.
the first vocal buh on the podcast. Hell yeah.
Pope buh.
Pope buh.
Wait, so that the second part to my question is this: if
Yes.
there have been 14 fucking Leos in history, why would he try?
Pick a
If
new
there were
goddamn
13,
name.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why not be Pope Robert? Why Pope
Well,
Leo the 14th? Does
they
he
don't-
love Leo that much? I don't get it.
We got Leo Glazer over here.
In general, popes would choose names to kind of, in a way, kind of represent what they want to do, right? So the previous Pope Leo was quite a reformer of the church.
They want.
He's like, I kind of want to reform the church a little bit, so I'm going to choose Pope Leo as my name. And they choose popes' names based kind of on, on factors like that, like kind of what they want to do. They won't choose it. I mean, sometimes they do choose a new name. Like Francis chose a new name. He chose Pope Francis. But even that wasn't a new name. He named himself after Saint Francis, who was quite a naturey, in tone of the earth kind of saint, which matches what Pope Francis was, which was a very humble kind of guy. So names in the Catholic Church are not meaningless. They usually have meaning behind it. And Leo was quite a popular one. It is Leo the 14th. There's been 13 other Leos in history.
So that means the church had to be reformed about 13 times. Counting now, this is the 14th reform.
Well, I mean, if you really get technical, we've had like 30 to 40 We've even had more. It kind of depends what your definition of Reformation is, but there's been thousands of changes to the church between now and 2,000 years ago.
No,
Yeah, a lot of things have changed
I don't
in the last
believe that.
2,000 years.
I think the church has been the same for 2,000 years. There's been no changes whatsoever.
There's been no changes, none whatsoever. Absolutely none. Not even one. It's true.
Not even a single one. Not a single change. Damn. So this is sad, of course, obviously, because my Kola Bychok has not made it.
Oh, yeah. No, he was not elected.
I don't think you can. Okay. I don't think you can say that, personally.
No, they chose Robert Francis Prevost, who is an American, and this is pretty big in the news because he's the first pope from anywhere in North America.
He's from fucking Chicago.
And he's from Chicago.
Wow, Chicago really produced a pope before a quarterback who could throw 4,000 yards.
Oh my God. Damn, elite ball knowledge. That's a good bird. You got to use that.
No, don't give him credit for that because I guarantee you he just took it from fucking Instagram or some shit.
Oh yeah, no, I did.
Yeah, that's not a Calhoun original. That's a fucking stolen meme because I've seen that at least 3 times on Instagram Reels since the fucking.
Let's go. I'm being praised
and that happened on fucking like Wednesday or
wait
Thursday.
a second. Are you telling me that Robert Calhoun just like snagged a joke from Instagram?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm amazed there isn't more. I mean, you're never off of Instagram.
I'm looking for the next joke. I'm looking for the next joke to steal at this very moment.
Well, for this installment of Downscaper Corner, I feel we should go over some of this guy's history, right? So Robert Prevost, he's a Chicagoan, born in '55, right? He became a friar, which is a denomination's like it's like a monk. In the 1970s, and he became a priest in '82. And then when he became a priest, he went to Peru, which is not in Chicago. It's in South America.
As you do.
And he was there for a long time. He was there from '85 to 1998, where he worked as a missionary working with the impoverished of Peru, which is a lot of because it's Peru.
Damn.
That was a little bit dark.
Quick Peru slander. Hell yeah.
Peru slander.
It's a very nice country there, but they do have some poverty issues. He worked and he became a citizen of Peru while he was there. So he a naturalized citizen. So he's a citizen of the United States and a citizen of Peru. Before being elected to the he was appointed by Pope Francis to the prefect of Dastardly for bishops and the president of the Pontifical Commission for Latin America, which is a really nice way of saying that he's the guy at the head of the Latin American sect of the Catholic Church.
Okay, is that a cardinal position or is that?
That is a cardinal position.
So did he go from priest to cardinal? Don't you have to go to bishop first?
No, sorry, I skipped a step there. He became the bishop of Chiclayo. I'm mispronouncing that. Chiclayo. It's a city in Peru.
Okay. Gotcha.
A diocese, rather. Okay. It's a diocese of Peru, rather. That was from 2015 to 2023, and in 2023, he was promoted to the Pontifical Commission, which is a cardinal position. So he became a cardinal. So he is an American, but he hasn't lived in America since the
70s.
1985.
Since the 80s.
Damn.
Let me put it this way.
Abandoned us.
Let me put it this way. Chernobyl happened sooner than he lived in America.
Oh my God. Damn.
So he is an American, but there's some asterisks on that. It shouldn't be the primary thing. American Pope. I did not see that coming, but that totally did happen.
You know what gets me about the whole American Pope? Like, how did they choose him that fast? Because it sounds like he's only been a cardinal for a few years, and then it only took like 1 day. Like, how did they do that fast?
The bit that's why I kind of thought it would take a bit longer. In conclave, you get together in the room, right, in the debate. They tell them, hey, we're gonna take all your phones and your tablets and whatnot, so you can't like contact the outside world, and we're gonna shut you in, and we'll let you out when you get a new pope. They sit in the boat, and they have anonymous votes for pope, and to get the position of pope, you have to win at least 2/3 of the majority of the vote. So the majority has to go, yeah, I'll have it as pope. And they did decide that really fast, but this is why I'm thinking they must have thought about it. As soon as Pope Francis died, they started debating it before conclave, because they did decide that really fast. But I think they chose a good guy for Pope. Leo was quite, I would describe him as quite a centralist, right? He's quite middle road when it comes to a lot of issues, and he's also quite a he would like to see some more inclusivity and unity within the church, which I think are both good things. So actually, I think they choose a pretty good pope. I guess we'll see as time goes on. It's difficult to see what kind of pope he's going to be. He's only been pope for like a week, so,
Right.
He's 69, so he's gonna be pope for another 20 years, unless he dies early. But they usually die about.
Not
80.
if I have anything to say about. No, I'm kidding.
Tonight, Robert tries to assassinate the Pope.
Tonight,
Robert
I uproot the Catholic Church.
Robert kills Robert in a fit of inspiration.
Robert kills Robert.
Tonight, I commit Robert on Robert's crime.
There you go.
Okay, here's something else that's of note. Pope Leo has a doctorate, a degree in mathematics, which is really unusual because usually
he's gonna calculate the second coming.
The second coming, like George Camping did.
Yeah.
2012. He has a doctorate in math.
Is that the guy that you were telling us about that one day in class that just use random equations to calculate?
There's a really good internet historian video on that. I highly recommend. I think this is the one. I think it's the one Bob was showing me. That's a really good one.
Yeah, it's such a good video.
Yeah. Can I
Usually
just really quickly?
Yeah.
Can I just pause this? I need to. Shut up! Stop yelling! Sorry, I had to yell at a bird. Continue.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that did not work.
It did. It's not doing it anymore.
Tonight, Jacob tweaks at a bird.
Can you hear the birds outside my window? There's a good 30 birds outside my window.
I cannot hear
I assure
any
you
of the birds.
both. I assure you both.
Good.
I cannot hear a single bird.
Well, I'm not so worried about you people hearing it because I don't care about you. I care about it picking it up on the recording because it's a lot more sensitive in my actual microphone than it is on the. This bird is gonna drive me fucking crazy. Anyways, whatever. Continue.
I totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, mathematics.
Yeah.
So usually bishops, priests, popes, they have degrees in theology or degrees in ethics, but this guy has a degree in mathematics, which is unusual. I think he's the first. I'm probably wrong, but I think he's the first pope with a degree in some sort of science as opposed to some sort of theology, which is interesting, I suppose. Interesting. His motto is "In the one, we are one."
What the fuck does that mean, Kobe Bryant? What does that mean?
In the one with a capital O, he's referring to Jesus. In Jesus, we are one. In the one, we are one. And that's actually all of the bits I can pull from the Wikipedia page. His logo has a crest.
A logo?
He has a crest. Yeah, they give him a coat of arms. All the cardinals have a coat of arms.
Oh hell yeah!
It looks popey. I don't really know.
It looks
popey. Let me send it to you so you can have a look at it.
It looks
popey as fuck.
Popey. What the fuck does that mean?
Well, you're gonna look at it and go, "Oh yeah, it's a pope coat of arms." That tracks.
Am I? Well, put it in my chat right now, and we'll see if that's true.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me paste.
Crazy.
So
I didn't know.
Popes get their own logo.
They get their own logo and they get their own motto.
Yeah. Do they get their own thing? Oh, that's a pope coat of arms. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, every cardinal has a motto like that. Every cardinal has a motto. It's kind of similar to
I want to be a cardinal and have my motto be "What the Sigma."
Oh.
Yeah, break up with your girlfriend.
And that right there is why.
Yeah, that's why you could never be a cardinal.
No. That's why you'll be a cardinal.
So I believe that may be the end of Dom's papal corner. Unless you want me to find more popes in history and then do segments about popes.
No, I'm really sad because I put a lot of effort into the little jingle.
You're gonna use it twice.
Yeah, and it literally, I kid you not, it literally got announced 8 hours after I finished that episode that the new pope got elected and I couldn't use the jingle anymore.
If the audience is willing to bear with us, you can just do it like for 3 or 4 times back to back right now and really get your money out of it.
I put my time into this, so I'm gonna get the content out of this.
Well, I'm gonna get used to all this. I'll let you just like sprinkle some in throughout the show.
I'm just gonna every once in a while, once you're speaking, I'm just gonna do a real quick Tom's People Corner.
Tom's People Corner.
That should be the new transition. Fuck the Batman theme, the Batman jingle, and
just don't. Every segment is Dom's People Corner. We just don't talk about popes every time.
Oh God, dude.
Dom's People Corner.
So now let's talk about something that happened in 1912.
Yeah.
No. Oh, fuck.
Bring that right back.
No, please. Not 1912.
What do you got against 1912? What happened to you in 1912?
The Titanic sunk.
Oh, there's that.
Sam, you were old enough. How was the Titanic? I've been meaning to ask.
I couldn't afford it. It was like out of my tax bracket at the time. I couldn't afford to get on.
At the time, of course.
Apparently,
now,
at the time.
At this point, your net worth has significantly increased. But yes.
Yeah, at that time. I mean, shit. I've been alive for so long. I'd have to kill myself if it hadn't.
What the fuck? Sorry, I was like zoning out there for a little bit because I was reading through the
Going up
chats
to 1912
with my girlfriend, trying to find. I told her, when the new pope was elected, I told her, "Yo, babe, new pope just dropped," and she responded back, "He's not over 70. We scored."
Hey,
by the thinnest margins possible.
By the thinnest margins.
Your topic today is Titanic. That's an interesting topic. What do you have about the Titanic?
Well, just really quickly though, I have my original podcast topics document. In here, I have one little quick question for Sam, and I've titled it "Sam Breaks the Silence." So this is really important to me.
Okay. I don't know.
Is this Collective Stupidity, or is this the beginning of like a sexual harassment documentary?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sam breaks the silence. In what way? What politician has touched you, Sam?
Edge, obviously, it's Edge.
Al Gore. Nah. Al Gore.
Anyways, I have a question for you, Sam. It's in the news. The world wants to know, Sam.
Okay.
The people are desperate for answers. You lived through 9/11. Why didn't you do anything? Why did you not? Why did you not do anything to stop it? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You un-American, unpatriotic fuck, Sam. What is wrong with you?
Why didn't you do
anything to stop 9/11? Yeah.
I will tell you, the same reason why I did not stop 9/11 is the same reason that I did not invest in properties during the housing crisis and make a quick buck off of that. And the reason is this: I was in a coma for about literally. Well, I was trying to say I was in a coma, and that wasn't. It's not really accurate. It sounds cool. What I have to say, and this is pretty embarrassing, was that I was away watching wrestlers beat the shit out of each other, and I was so enthralled that I did not know about 9/11 until it had already happened.
Samuel.
Yeah,
Sam, how old were you in 2001?
How old was I in 2001?
Yeah, he was like
you'd have been like 2, right?
Yeah, 2 years old. 1 year old.
How much can a 1-year-old do to stop 9/11?
I could have.
Besides, hijacking the plane back and flying it down.
Yeah, which all 2-year-olds are equipped and able to do.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I could have used the psychic link that all Muslims have to be like, hey, don't do that. That'd be very bad. Don't crash that plane. But in baby language. Oh no!
I had the image of just 1-year-old you just sitting on the ground, right, in your house, just putting both your hands in your temples, just thinking really hard, and that video of LeBron James going, not LeBron James, who's the guy who just stop it, get some help.
Michael Jordan.
That one?
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
It's just saying stop it, Muslims. Don't do that.
Stop it, Muslims.
Stop it, ISIS. Don't do that.
Don't do that, ISIS. Stop Al Qaeda. We have a lot to live for. Stop Al Qaeda. There's
George
Muslims
Bush.
living here too, right?
You don't want to do that. This is not what God wants.
This is not what God wants.
This is not the way to honor Allah.
George, this is not the way to honor Allah. Or, it's very possible that they weren't Muslim at all. As some conspiracy theorists might suggest, it was actually an inside job.
Yeah, I mean, this point is all moot because George Bush did 9/11, but that's neither here nor there.
Stop it, George Bush. Get some help.
In which case, it would have been your responsibility.
I heard George Bush did Apollo missions too. just when he was a kid.
I believe George Bush might have been responsible for that. George Bush. Yo, did you ever see that weird fucking video, right? This was during the invasion of Ukraine, when he was basically berating Russia for, like, attacking Ukraine. He was specifically saying it was, like, a big nation. Yeah, against a small nation. And he, like, had some sort of weird Freudian slip where he said, America against Iraq.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of laughed it off, and then he just said, Iraq too. He literally admitted in a half-joking manner he compared America invading Iraq to Russia invading Ukraine.
That's a like a D1 slip up. Like that's bad.
That is bad.
You can't all be winners. That's a good example of losing.
Yeah, that's you know what his thought
he was elected.
You know what his thought probably was when he did that?
What?
Buh.
What was his thought?
People, corner. Tell me about the Titanic.
Yeah, let's talk about the Titanic now.
Before you dig yourself deep into this hole.
Yeah, whose topic is the Titanic?
I don't know. Sam mentioned
nobody's.
Did somebody mention the Titanic?
I mentioned the Titanic because we made a reference to 1912.
Who the fuck has this ship? Where is this ship, and who's talking about this damn ship?
Nobody's talking about the ship. I referenced it because
Dominic.
of the year.
It's supposed to be yours.
You're the one who's over here like, yeah.
I'm not saying you were talking. I swear to God, I'm not saying you're supposed to talk about the Titanic. I'm saying that in the order. You don't have to talk about the Titanic. I'm just saying that the order goes me, then you, then Robert, then Samuel, and that's it. That's the order. That's the order. It's always been since we've been doing the 4-topic thing. It's always been that order. It's the reverse of the closing statement order, which none of you fuckers seem to remember either, even though it's the exact same every goddamn time. I hate this group of people.
If it makes you feel better, it's not that I forgot. I'm sorry, I gotta redo that. If it makes you feel, son of a bitch. If it makes you feel better, it's not that I forgot. It's that I wasn't aware of it to begin with.
So we had it.
Okay, so I guess my topic for today is I'm moving out of my apartment.
No. We're backing up on this because there is at least there are several instances where I said the first episode we did the 4-topic discussion we first came with a topic for each of us. The first time we did that, I said, let's talk briefly about order. I'm thinking reverse closing statement order. And then you guys, I don't know what that is, so and I explained that to you. And
it's only in the document. It's only organized
in the document. And I swear to God, I cut it out of an episode, but I said it in a recording, and I'm gonna put it into this goddamn episode, and you're gonna listen to it. And he left, and he's gone.
There he goes.
Yeah, and you're gonna listen to it, and you're gonna listen to it, and you're gonna feel like a fucking fool. You're gonna feel like a fucking fool, and you can go on with your topic now. I've had my moment. Oh, actually, we should probably establish an order for topics. I was thinking reverse closing statement order, unless someone objects to that. So I was thinking.
I still don't know that. I still don't know the order that we do our closing statement.
So
I thought it was random every time, to be honest. I thought it was made up.
It's the same order every time. I hate all of you. Let me run you through the orders. So for the topics, I'm thinking it'll go, because this will be reverse of closing statements. It'll be me, Dominic, Robert, and then Samuel. And then for closing statements, it goes Samuel, Robert, Dominic, me.
Well, I think that works. Forget that.
I fucking hate all of you.
I'm very sorry, Jacob. I'll stop. I'll stop. I'll just stop.
I think that would be best.
Stop breathing.
Should I just end my topic for this episode?
No.
To make
No.
No.
You keep doing that. Just do your topic, bro.
Own your topics, dude. Own it.
Okay, so I'm moving out of my apartment sooner than I thought. I'm moving out this weekend. In fact, I'm gonna move back with my parents for a little bit on Monday, and then start looking for the apartment out towards college.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get a hallelujah?
Yeah. Actually, I was gonna talk about
hallelujah.
I was gonna talk about bad roommates because I've had some pretty bad roommates. Believe it or not, the roommates I have right now are not the worst roommates I've had. The worst roommate I ever had was this guy. Yeah, I've had worse. People, corner. And I try to be.
Just checking real quick. Is a name I'm gonna have to bleep, or is that a name that's good to?
I'm not giving his last name. Do I want to give his last? I should really change his names. Yeah, why don't you? So I'm tempted to restart because I'm not that deep in and just change names altogether, and you can just edit that whole bit out. How's that sound?
Okay.
All right.
All right. People corner. Okay. So I used to have this job over the summer at a summer camp. Right. It was a residential camp up in the Adirondacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I got put in the position of health director, kind of like the chief EMT on property.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want this position. I really didn't want it. But the previous guy who ran the health lodge, I'm gonna call him John, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not his real name. His real name is something else different, but I'm gonna call him John.
Mm-hmm.
He was arrested for sexual assault on a minor.
Oh,
which is
God,
not-
you didn't use that
which is
detail
not
the
good.
first time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
Yeah,
guess it was
which is-
implied, but
It's a scout camp, right? So there's a lot of kids, and so it wasn't. It doesn't matter. It wasn't at the scout camp, but that's besides the point. He was arrested for, grooming a child. Pretty much. It's long and the short of it. And he was moved from the camp, and I was left there with this guy named Tom. And Tommy was such a terrible name. Tommy was he was the guy who worked with John for a long time at this camp. And then John was arrested, right? And he couldn't do it, and I was supposed to do the job. And so I was moved in as the director, and then Tom would be my subordinate at this position.
Can I just say, these names that are supposed to replace the actual names are the same name that, like, they're the same name except not. Like, the end is exactly the same. You've only changed the first half of the name.
I'm going to forget the names and mess them up halfway through and confuse you. I'm trying to use names that are similar enough that I won't do that. So his name is Tom, all right? It's Tom. It's Thomas.
Thomas
We're
Tommy.
gonna go with
Yep, gotcha. Okay, sounds good.
And I didn't want this job. And I had my EMT license for maybe 5 days at that point. I was right out of school. And so I've never really worked in any professional setting. But, here I am, head of the health lodge, responsible for the health of about 500 kids at one time. Fun. And Tom was, how to describe him? He's not the most...
He mixed up the name! Even though he just said...
He ruined his own... You ruined your own story now.
You ruined your own naming system!
I'm sorry. It's just, I've told this story like 1,000 times. I'm used to the other names. I'll try a bit better. And Tom is, how to describe, he's not, fuck you. Nevin, I gotta laugh. And Tom is not what I would describe as mentally stable, is not the word I use to describe him. He's not, so let me give you an example. The first night I knew him, right, I've known him for maybe 12 hours, right? He's very like, he doesn't talk a whole lot, but when he does talk, he has like the same 5 or 6 phrases he goes through.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh yeah, you gotta do that, and you gotta do that. Oh yeah. He sounds like that.
Is he an Oblivion NPC?
He's a little like an NPC. But the first night I knew him, okay, so we have different rooms in this cabin. It's a small cabin, and we're divided. And the rooms are back to back, and they're divided by a wall. But it's an unfinished wall. It's like a cabin wall, so it's pine. It's thin pine, and you can hear right through it. Right, my bed's right up against it, so I'm trying to fall asleep. And Tom puts on a TV Grey's Anatomy. You know the show?
Mm-hmm.
Grey's Anatomy.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, a really terrible medical show. Really
Yeah.
It's not House.
traumatized and all that. It's not House.
not
No,
House.
House MD is a much better show. Besides the point, he puts that on. It's about 10 p.m. at night. It's like, all right, whatever. He watches television. That's fine. I fall asleep. At about 1 a.m., I wake up to take a piss. I go out and take a piss.
Of course,
and
yes.
and I hear Grey's Anatomy through the wall.
Oh no.
It's 1 a.m. Okay, so he stays up really late. Sure, you know what? He's a free man. You can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fall back asleep. 5 a.m. I wake up. Some kid came over and like got sick, and I had to take care of him. So 5 a.m. and I wake up and Grey's Anatomy. Okay, so I go over and I just peek. I just look inside. I take a little peek. The guy's out like a fucking log. He's out. The man sleeps to Grey's Anatomy. He falls asleep with it on full blast on a television, right? And you need to understand, like, this job is really stressful. It's like you're on the clock always. You're always doing work, and 3 weeks in of listening to Grey's Anatomy asleep doing medical work, it works its way into your dreams. And like, like 2 weeks, I started having like dreams about like, performing C-sections on pregnant mothers and other medical procedures. And I think I started to go insane. Anyway, I told him like the second day I was there, I told him like, turn off Grey's Anatomy. He's annoying me. And he goes, oh yeah, sure, I do what you gotta do. And he never did it. But like the Grey's Anatomy, that's the least of it. That's the least of it.
Oh boy.
Because you understand, Tom is not certified in any way, shape, or form as a medical responder of any sort. He might be like a medical responder, like in the briefest. Like he might know CPR. He might be CPR certified, right? But like I'm a proper EMT. I'm certified in the state of New York to be an EMT.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not, but he thinks that he is. He has a really strong God complex. A little bit like if you think like Dwight Schrute from The Office, kind of in the same vein as that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Michael Scott from The Office. And so he would be constantly trying to get in my way, like offering me advice that I don't need, or trying to. He's such a freak. So give an example, right? At one point over his career there, he ordered off eBay an entire like fireman's suit, like the pants, the jacket, the boots, the hood, like all of it, right? And like this stuff's expensive. It's fire equipment. In case, and he like his excuse was, well, if the camp, goes up in flames, somebody's got to be there to save the camp. I was like, it's not going to be you, Tom. It really is you. Okay, if like the dining hall catches fire, I'm going to call 911. I'm not going to call you, Tom. But, whatever. It was like a $5,000.
So he bought a firefighter suit. Did he buy a hose? Did he buy a fire extinguisher? No. Did he buy a fire hydrant and a water cool system? Like, what was his plan? Was he just going to put the suit on and start literally fist fighting the fire? What was
Yeah, exactly. He's also not trained, right? So he's like, there's nothing here makes whatever, right? It's his money. I really don't care what he does. But he would butt in. And one day, this must have been week 2, maybe a little bit further down of being there. I have a kid in, and he has a really bad toothache. Mm-hmm. And I go, I'm sorry to hear that. Let me have a look at it. I just have a look at it. Like, I'm an EMT. There's not a lot I can do about a toothache. I can give him like a little bit of ibuprofen or something. That's about it.
Yep.
And I look at it, and I don't see anything out of the ordinary. And I say, that sucks. Here's some ice. Here's an ice pack. You can chill with an ice pack. If it gets worse, you can come back. And then Tom comes over, and he has a look at it. He goes, let me have a look at it. And he pulls out, and I mean this with all seriousness. Right?
Oh, no.
This is real.
Oh, God.
He pulls out. Not a gun. He pulls out. It'd almost be better if he did pull out a gun, but he didn't. He pulls out one of those things that you use to look into an ear, right? Like a.
Oh my god! Oh, okay.
And he takes it and looks into his mouth, and he looks at it and goes, "You have a cavity. We need to drill it out." I freeze for a second.
Okay, so hold on.
I pull Tom aside. There's more about it. I pull Tom aside. I go, Tom.
Is he a dentist?
You cannot perform any sort of procedure on this child in any capacity. Full stop statement. You cannot do this. And he goes, no, it'll be fine. He's got a cavity. And like, he does not have a cavity. I looked in there. First off, you can't diagnose a cavity. Second off, you can't diagnose anything. There's not anyone in your jurisdiction. None of us can. We're not doctors. That's not within a scope of practice. Right? Thirdly, all right, the kid just told me he bit down on a piece of wood. I reckon it's that.
Oh my god!
Nah, the juice rotten. You gotta pull the whole thing out.
Did he go online and buy a dentist outfit too?
So okay, look. So I go to my boss, right? Who's I'm gonna change her name to just be Mary, right? I go to Mary, who's the camp director for the camp. Who's the head honcho. Mm-hmm. Right. And I go to Mary and I go, hey, Tom, he's, cavity, tooth, diagnosing, not safe. And in Mary's defense, she has a very stressful job. It's very stressful running a camp like that. It's very stressful job. And I'm sure if she was under less stress, she would have done more. But she wasn't, and she didn't do a whole lot. So she kind of said, that's bad. Make sure she doesn't do that again. Figure it out. I was like, well, okay. So I'm dealing with Tom now, who's insane, and I have to treat. Same time though, like I also have to treat kids as they get hurt and get injured, and that's quite stressful.
So now you're dealing with a lot of small kids and a big kid.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty much babysitting him. All at the same time, by the way, Tom has a dog named Odie, right?
Oh Jesus!
Does he have a cat named
Tom,
Garfield too?
No, it would be kind of funny, but no. And Tom doesn't know how to take care of a dog, right? Because he's got some issues upstairs, right? So he doesn't know how to take care of a dog. And so I took care of the dog. Like I had to water the dog, I had to feed the dog, I had to let the dog out so it can shit. Like I had to take care of the dog for a time. Jesus. And I hate dogs. I really don't like dogs. I hate the place in the world. That place is nowhere near me. So I had to deal with that. But about 2, maybe 2.5 weeks in, I've known for about 2.5 weeks. I guess I've known for about 3 weeks now because there's some pre-camp stuff we have to deal with. I get sick of this man. I'm like, I can't be working under this Tom. He's gonna drive me nuts. Mm-hmm. And so, with Mary's help, we kind of tell Tom, hey, so we think your potential, because he's got God complex, we think your potential is being squandered in the Health Lodge. So we're gonna make you the assistant of operations. It's like a whole new position, assistant of operations. Which I like, and I mean this. I don't think you listen to this, Mary, but if you are, that was a genius move, right? Because what she did was make Tom the assistant to a position that doesn't exist, and then that position also happens to like operate on the other side of the property, like on the other side of the lake that we own, away from me, away from all the campers. He's dealing with some like maintenance stuff across the lake. It's away from me. Genius.
Oh
Genius. Gosh! And we have a big property. It's 3,600 acres up there. It's huge. It's a whole lake. Mm-hmm. And so he starts to pack up and leave. And he got a little tiny car. Well, mind you, on top of this car, which is like a little Chevy Trax, the same one Sam has, right? Mm-hmm. He has a giant light bar, like a police bar, but it's all yellow and orange because you can't have police bars. But he has one of those. Like he's like 5 different antennas with like 6 different CV radios. He's like that kind of guy. Like,
okay.
Did he buy a cop outfit online too? Is this guy just really into LARPing? Like, what is?
If he did, I didn't see it. But I wouldn't put that past him. So so he's moving out of the cabin, right? Mm-hmm. And he's putting all the stuff in his car and he leaves. And it's late at night. I go to bed. I wake up in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And I go out and make a cup of coffee and open the drawer. And all the cups are gone. Uh-huh. Okay.
He took everything, didn't he?
And I open up the other drawer. Okay. All the forks are gone.
No.
Not the knives, just the forks.
No.
Understood. And I go out and I asked Tom, hey, so the cups, the forks, where are they?
Are they?
And he looks at me and he goes, well, they're mine. I bought them. I'm taking them with me. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure this is not true. Granted, I could be wrong. Like, Tom and, who's the guy? His name is John. Tom and John, like, they pretty much lived in this cabin.
Forgot his own name again.
Or maybe, like, since, like, 2002.
Think of the real name, and then he's like, oh, I don't need to think of the real name. Let me just invent a name.
Yeah. Well, they've been living in this cabin since, like, 2002. So, like, maybe he did buy them, but he also has no money. This right. Tom, so I suspect he didn't. I actually suspect this is all camp property, but it doesn't matter. In his mind, it's all his. I was like, oh, for fucking sake, whatever. And I go back to my job. But like every morning for that week, I'd wake up and more things would be gone. Right? Like, I'd wake up, oh, the microwave is gone. Oh, the plates are gone. Oh, my chair is gone. Okay. I wake up in the morning. Oh, I see. All of the toilet paper is gone. Well, convenient timing. I guess I have to use gauze. I mean, it's that kind of stuff.
Oh, my chair is gone.
It's driving me nuts. But like on Friday, on Friday, I come back to the Health Lodge. I walk inside. The man is moving his bed, his queen size bed, which I know is not his. He's moving it. He's trying to stuff in the back of his fucking Chevy Trax, which it doesn't fit. And he tells me, I'm gonna take the fridge next. Get all your stuff out of it. But I look at it. And I don't know. I'm in awe, and I pretty much tell him, Tom, you cannot take the fridge. The fridge is not yours. And he says nothing, and we move on a different way. And he can't move he does get the bed. He couldn't get the fridge; it was too big for him. But he did get the bed. Of course. And he leaves, and he goes across the lake, and like he's like a kleptomaniac of some sort because he's just obsessed with ownership of property like that. He's just complete kleptomaniac. And he leaves. But that's
I
not
think you
the
could
end.
drop the klepto out of that.
Yeah, and that's not the end. That's not the end of Tom.
What do you mean that's not
Oh
the
no
end?
no 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 no.
Oh,
No.
See, as I can just imagine, as he's driving away, you get a smile on your face, and then you fade to black, and then like the end of like a Marvel post-credit scene, it says Tom will return.
Tom will return in Adventure 6.
Oh my god.
I need to point out. It's time for us to point out a very critical part of Tom and John is a personality, right? They lived in there for like 20 years. They're hoarders, right?
Oh,
they have
God.
some sort of. They are like, and I mean this. Like I have a lot of stuff. I'm a bit messy, but like they are proper hoarders. And what they did is every year they'd receive a budget from our company, which shall remain nameless, but I'm trying to think of ways to go about naming things.
Just
From
say
our
the
company, right? A budget to run the health lodge of, I don't know what it is, like maybe $10,000 a summer. And the company, because the company is not run, at least at the time, it wasn't really run right. They never checked, never did an audit of any sort. And they just gave these guys like free run to spend that $10,000 and whatever they want. And so they would buy obscene, I'm talking obscene amounts of medical equipment and just keep it in the health lodge. And then when Tom left, I had to like go through all this medical equipment and like figure out what is still usable, because of course medical supplies expire. They have expiration dates. As is FDA approved, you have to get rid of them, and they don't throw things out because they're hoarders. And so I mean this. I have photos. I'll have to dig them up and send them to you. I have photos of all this. There were cabinets filled to the brim, like 40 to 50,000 individual Band-Aids. I've used maybe 100 over a summer.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They were in the ballpark of 100 to 200 pair of scissors, like trauma shears. Like, we don't need this. There were, and I mean this, maybe 500 to 600 rolls of gauze. We don't need this. Thousands.
Oh.
And like, I mean like with a 3 zeros. Thousands of like bio waste bags when you vomit. But like I use maybe like 3 of those a summer. You don't need 1,000. Like and all of this shit. And then on top of that, we have a whole bunch of stuff that we don't need. Right? Like we have an OBA kit. That's like for when you have a birth, right? When in fuck's name are you gonna assist somebody with a baby at this children's camp? We have pregnancy tests, which all are expired. We have gallons of hydrogen peroxide, which, by the way, we let hydrogen peroxide sit. It separates, and it becomes just water, right? You can't keep this around for 5 to 6 years, right? We have, like, gallons of soap. We have, like, 5 to 6 different stretches, 5 to 6 different backboards. Look, I've worked in hospitals, right? I've been in, like, Rochester General Hospital. Then Health Lodge has more supplies in store than that hospital does in the ER. It was an immense amount, and 80 to 90% of it was unusable because you can't use expired product on patients. Like, that's not legal. So we can't use it. And it's just... And then Tom goes across the lake, and he takes all of his stuff with him across the lake. And across the lake, I don't really know any of this because he's out of my jurisdiction, but over across the lake, he's driving Mary and like a ranger's nuts because he's just insane. And he's doing a bunch of weird shit like changing all the locks and they have new keys, so only he has access to them. Like that kind of stuff.
God.
And like Mary decides, this is enough. All right, this guy, fired. He needs to be out. I can't stand this man. But we can't like fire him because he was really close to John. And at this point in time, John is still like going through trials and we don't want to see like we're being biased. So we can't actually, so we just kind of tell him, you know, maybe you should go back to school. I don't know what she does. I don't know what she did. But
literally anything to get rid of him.
Tom is leaving, right? Tom is going to leave camp. This is like week 4. Mm-hmm. Tom's going to leave camp. And like on his way out, he goes to Mary, he goes, oh, by the way, all the medications, mine. I'm taking them all.
He's becoming a drug lord.
This actually is an issue, right? Because the medications I do use, like I can administer kids Advil, I can administer kids Tylenol. It's like over the counter stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But like, I can administer over the counter, right? And we have some emergency stuff like EpiPen, like epinephrine. Yeah. Like a kid has a peanut allergy, like that's something I need to have handy, right? Right. And up to this point, I thought Tom was just like, you know, pulling shit out of his ass. Like, oh, he doesn't actually own this. He just says he does, like he did with the fridge. right? But then the man pulls out, and I'm like, I can't believe he did this. He pulls out a receipt from like Kenny Drugs, right? It was the drug company out there.
Oh.
And he goes, look, it's in my name. And son of a bitch, it wasn't his name. It actually is all of his stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, what? Why are you using your personal on a kid? What? So what he did, and this is real. What he did was, instead of buying over-the-counter and drugs, medicine, with the company's credit card on the company's budget, he bought it with his own money because he's able to get a family discount, and then just like give it, quote unquote, to the company. Now, this may sound familiar. It should. This is tax fraud.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
This is illegal.
Oh, please tell me went to
I'm
jail.
sitting there.
Please tell me went to jail.
I'm sitting here, and I'm just like, you cannot buy things on your own insurance and then give it to a different company. Is what he was doing. Like, this is illegal, and this is what he did. But like, he has a receipt for it. It is his product. We can't keep it, and so he had to take it with him. And like, we had to like fork over epinephrine, which is expensive. EpiPens are like $400 a pop, and like, those are not cheap. And we can't use the budget because they blew through the entire 10,000 budget like before camp even opened on like random crap we don't need.
Wow, that's crazy.
So that was the worst roommate I've ever had. There's some more there, but I've been going for a solid 40 minutes about Tom, and I can go on for another 40 minutes, but I don't want to take up the entire podcast like I did with Zootopia.
Don't try to screw me out of another topic, bro.
So that's
if it helps.
The Ballad of Tom Part 1. I may return back to Tom in the future.
If it helps, Dominic, that was substantially more substance than Zootopia was.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I have Zootopia updates, by the way, but I'll give myself a break so I can cool down a little bit. I'm starting to get flustered.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. That was a story.
Anyways, my topic is bad roommates. Do you guys have any bad roommates?
No. I've had one roommate, and I'm still friends with him. I love that guy.
This is the exact reason I do not live on campus. or do not plan on living in an apartment near campus. I am happy in my home that I have lived in for years. I am good, thank you.
It's so much cheaper. I'm amazed how much those dorms cost.
It is. It's expensive.
No offense, Bob.
He doesn't live. He doesn't live on
no, not anymore. I did last year.
Good man.
Yeah.
You saved money that
$20,000 in student loan debts for 1 year.
Are you serious?
No, thank you. No, yeah.
I'm being so dead ass, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm really paying off my own tuition by semester right now.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
If I could go back 2 years ago, like 2-3 years ago, and say something to myself, I would say commute to college.
Yeah.
Don't fucking.
I can't.
23.
Here's what gets me. Right. Here's what gets me about that. I did the math, but quoted me. It was. I think it was 10,000, 5,000 a semester, 10,000 a year to live in a dorm on campus. Right.
Yep.
You see, 10,000 a year for 8 months. What's that? About 1,200 a month, give or take. Sure. I can get a pretty nice apartment for 1,200 a month. That isn't controlled by with fire codes and all that, and having to deal with having 500 roommates in a building.
Yeah,
I can get like a really nice apartment for that out in Albion, 1,200. It's like, this is just bull. This is just bull.
It is.
Yeah,
I'm paying $500, like $500 for my apartment right now in Rochester, like with roommates, granted, but the roommates I can choose. And that's in downtown Rochester, and like, it's a nice apartment I have. It's pretty all right. I can't. I'm amazed. How does anybody live on campus if that's how much it costs? I'm kind of amazed anybody falls for that, but I guess people do.
It's the
Maybe
propaganda, man. It's FOMO. That's what it is.
Yeah,
people
FOMO.
want to. That's what it is. It's FOMO because that's the college experience.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out.
Yeah, fear of missing out. And then also, so there's that, and then also like if you have like around campus, there's a lot of student housing. But like the issue is a lot of that housing that you could have off campus is like taken. So there is the issue of maybe you don't have a car, so you can't like have a long walk to classes.
If you don't have a car, I can see the point.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
But I have a friend who went to the same high school I did, lives within driving distance is probably closer than I am to and she's in the dorms, which is a baffling move to me because she has a car. She could commute, and she didn't. That
doesn't make any sense to me.
Can I guess which friend it is?
Yeah, guess.
Is it? Okay, hold on. It's either. See, I don't know where either of these people live, but is it?
Close.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ah, damn it!
Yeah.
People corner.
All right, cue the scene change, gentlemen. It's time for me to talk about the build battle incident.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
I don't know what this is. I really am quite curious. Please, Robbie, continue.
Okay, so there is quite a bit of context that needs to apply for this. So I have a friend. We'll call him Robert.
We'll call him.
That's not.
We'll,
that,
let's call.
That also isn't. That also isn't a joke. That isn't a joke. The friend in question.
Are you
his name
the
is also
friend?
Robert.
Is Robert you?
No.
I'm buying this boyfriend.
What the hell? You're friends with people who share your name? That's crazy as hell.
Yeah.
No, it's
yeah.
Okay, it's crazy as
so
it's crazy as hell that you don't. What are you talking about? You just aren't friends with someone who has your same name, just period, on principle.
If I meet another Samuel, either they absorb me or I absorb them.
That's
There's no.
how it works.
That's how it goes.
I believe
exactly
that.
Reverse osmosis kind of absorbing.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
You become one.
I mean, kind of. Yeah. That's the idea. Believe it or not, I just don't run into a lot of Samuels. I'm probably one of the very few that I know. There was like one other one that I know from my very cloistered religious community, and he's all the way in Canada, so I don't have to worry about him.
I'm imagining you at like a bar or something. Like you just like you meet someone and you're chatting. He's like, "Oh, this is like a really nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, your name is Sam? Get the fuck out, man! Get
out of here!"
If I see you here again,
it's like I see him going, "Oh yeah, hi, yeah, my name is Sam." And you just have like a deadpan face, no emotion.
You're dead to me.
There must be something in this
about
coffee
Robert.
because I get the big time giggles today.
Yeah. Anyways, build battle incident or whatever the fuck you're talking about.
So my friend used to be a YouTuber. Mind you, this was like COVID era. So like fucking everybody was a YouTuber back then.
Gotcha.
So he wasn't very good.
Yeah.
No, I'd say he was he was better than most. I'll give him that. During COVID, we would do like this weekly activity with all of our friends because it was generally it was around the COVID time. None of us had fucking jobs because we were still in high school, and so he said, "Well, free content." We would hop on this public Minecraft server. It was called the Hive, and we would just play whatever games they had on there, like Bed Wars, Sky Wars, shit like that.
Yep.
Shit like that.
Gotcha.
And so we would call it, and the server offered like private servers. They were called custom servers. So you could play with really people of your choosing. So it was like, so I'll just get like a ton of my friends and we'll play some Minecraft for a couple hours. Called it Custom Server Fridays.
Okay.
One of the games is obviously, if you heard the name of the incident, Build Battle.
The infamous build battle. Yes.
The infamous build battle.
How
So
did I hear about it?
The day
Where
is
were
February
you?
12th, 2021. Yeah, it was just another, we were celebrating the Lunar New Year. It was our 6th Custom Server Fridays. And the way Build Battle worked is that, you just had like a list of like prompts. But that's fucking boring. Nobody wants to be building like a snail.
Nobody wants
shit.
to be doing that.
Right.
Come on now.
So we said, what if we just, agree? What if we just make our own prompts? Here's where things get interesting.
This is where things get funny now.
Of course.
Pay attention, Samuel.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I don't remember who. But somebody said, "Yo, let's all build Robert." Talking about me.
Oh
Me.
boy. Oh, this
Let's
is gonna be good.
Let's all build. And here's another thing you need to know. There was this girl that I really liked in high school.
Okay.
And, we were in the same friend group.
Right.
And we were both present when this happened, and I'm not the very as the kids will say, I'm not very rizzy.
Oh,
Okay.
Robert, I think I might have an idea where this is going, and if this goes where I think it's gonna go, I am so sorry for you.
I don't think it will. At this point, she knows. She knows.
Right.
And I know she knows, and we haven't really spoken to each other about my feelings on her.
Yep.
And then here's
classic
where
teenage love story.
Yeah, here's where the our antagonist of the story comes along.
Okay, great.
Well, I gotta think of a dastardly name. Okay, so we'll call him Samuel Robinson.
This is the second time you replaced someone's name with Samuel Robinson.
I was thinking like Captain Abstinence, but Samuel Robinson was too.
Captain Abstinence.
We'll call him. He's like this really like hulking. He's a really fucking big dude. Not that he's necessarily fat. He was tall, and he was. He had just had a large build to him. He was one of those people who he had to be in control of like a lot of things. So it was always, oh well, what does he want to do? Like that's what we'll do. We'll do what he wants to do. And then I think we all know how stubborn how stubborn of a person I am.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're familiar.
We definitely know that.
Yeah.
So, obviously, this like this master manipulator and, kind of self-appointed leader of the friend group, if you will.
Group leader energy.
Oh,
I
great.
got you.
Group leader energy. I think you could see where problems arose between me and him.
Yeah.
Obviously.
The alpha and the sigma are batting up against each other. I hear you.
He knew that I liked this girl because he was also like really close friends with her. So so things were pretty much already at a boiling point during this stream. So we get to the end of the builds, and obviously, build battle, you have to showcase everybody's builds. So I'm going to share some of those with you here right now. Now this first one isn't of me, but I did build it.
Okay. No.
Okay. What is this?
No, Smiley. These are the builds in question.
Yep.
This is what you built?
What's it meant to be?
That's what.
Is that what it's meant to be?
That's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be no, because it's him. He doesn't want to build himself.
It's
very witty and clever. You just don't get it. You
got it. For the audience, this is a podcast. It is a pretty sci-fi looking room. In the middle, there's a box where you build.
It's literally just a black square that says no, and then a smiley face.
No, and a smiley face on it in white blocks.
Yes.
That's it.
See, I was confused because I thought you built all of the fucking sci-fi shit here, and I was like, "Oh, that's really impressive."
No.
And then threw me off.
You see that black square? That's pretty much your building area. That's your designated building area.
Yeah.
That's the first build.
Gotcha.
So that's
okay.
Gotcha.
Here is the second build.
What the fuck is that?
Okay, this is going great. Who is this?
I think you could. Well, it's supposed to be me. It's all
because it looks like a horrible, deformed reindeer creature of some kind.
Well, that's just how I looked in 2021.
That's you?
Robert, where's the hair?
I don't know. I didn't build it. Okay, I'm not the one building these. I didn't build this.
Robert, those eyes are crooked. Something's not right.
I'm not the one who fucking built it.
So for the audio listeners, love you to death, Dominic, how would you get him a low ball on what this looks like here?
It's so hard to describe in ways that make sense. It looks like somebody took a bowl and then flipped it upside down, and out of the bottom of the bowl, this brown, like dirt brown pasta is coming out, and there's some like brown mushrooms on top of it, and then on the front of it, there's like a couple of stickers that are black and white, and
they're meant to be eyes, but they're looking in
have formed kind of a face that doesn't look like Robert, and it also doesn't look
like
anything. Okay, so that's your first image.
Okay.
Then there's I'll do this one next. This is also not my build.
Okay. We're getting closer. We're getting closer.
Why does everybody have some type of receding hairline?
I don't know how you describe this.
Do you
to the
have
audience.
dreads in that? What is?
I might I might have dreads in that.
Okay, so for the audio listeners, and again, love you to death, let me give you the rundown on what we're looking at here. We're looking at an egg has a face on it. It's got a little bit of a smoothed face. It's got some eyes. It's got some lips. And I say lips. It has a lip. And it has a little protruding nose a little bit. And underneath it is written Hoon, as in Robert Calhoun, his last name. And there's a little heart down there. So that's how you know it was made with love.
Very touching.
Yep.
Yep. Now we're going to get into less touchy.
Oh my god.
Oh. Whoa, wait.
Okay.
Hey, okay, this is... Look at that.
Again, not my build. Not my build.
So Samuel, can you give us for the audio listeners, again, love you to death, can you give us the run-through on what we're looking at here?
Run-through, okay. Compared to the rest of the builds, this is a full body. And because, I will say, in the head department, in the face department, it does look the closest to what Robert looks like.
Now, does that
because
include
they put no effort into it.
Does that include the little driblet of boogers coming out of his nose?
Snot. Actually, no.
I actually just noticed that.
I just noticed that.
This was built 4 years ago, and I never noticed that.
So no, it's not accurate at all. It's just a man in the green shirt sniveling,
and he has a rather large tummy too, for some reason.
Yeah, as large.
That's my fucking sophomore year beer belly.
Yeah,
and then of course, Samuel, we must not ignore on the bottom. It does say Gay Hoon underlined.
It is
labeled. It does say
rather inconspicuously.
It does say Gay Hoon.
It does say Gay Hoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So somebody clearly wanted to send a message to the Hoonster.
Talk about a message.
They were either doing that or they were trying to spell gay hound, but they ran out of space for the D.
Gay hound?
The world may never know.
We don't have the answers.
And I don't remember who built this. But yeah, that's that build. Mind you, we're going to go back to our antagonist.
Oh,
okay.
Right. So it gets worse than this. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's worse than this. None of these are his builds.
Now,
we're going to go back
Can we just keep in mind that he started this with talking about his high school crush? That part hasn't come into play at all since.
Yeah, so
I'm very worried about what this next one's going to be.
So
I totally missed that.
We get a build.
Crush? You need higher standards, man, because that's a brick, man.
So we have our antagonist. We have me, who's just being absolutely obliterated, horrendously insulted.
Of course, yes.
Build a battle. Me and my crush are present, and the guy I don't like, and we're building me specifically. And I'll explain this next. I'll explain this next one. Also, you are gonna have to blur something out.
I had a feeling.
Is it a name or an object?
Oh no! He did that. What the fuck?
He did that to me on a live stream with like 40, 50 people watching.
Is that meant to be you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's what we got here.
Yeah.
Right, so real quick though,
I'll explain
Robert,
this.
Well, hold on. Before we get to that, Robert, can you just, for the audio listeners, again, love you to death. Can you explain what we're seeing here?
All right, so it's supposed to be me. It's kind of like a headshot, but like from the chest up. You kind of have like my low-key, like my hands are up like in the surrender position. I have my head's rather slender. I have, as Jacob mentioned, the Minecraft villager nose, and I have eyebrows that are like quadruple the size of my eyeballs.
And again, no hair on this man.
No hair.
Now, Robert, we're missing a key part of this experience. Can you describe the background a little bit for us?
So to the left, and to the direct left and right of the bed, you have two hearts. That's made with love. Until you realize that this is actually meant to like publicly humiliate me because there's text that says "I love," and then the name of the person that I had a crush on.
That he was crushing on. Yeah.
That I was crushing on heavy.
Shit, man.
Yeah, I was publicly humiliated in front of my closest friends and about 40 to 50 live YouTube watchers.
Are you gonna let that stand? You can't let that stand.
Yeah, me personally, I wouldn't let him do that to me.
Yeah, so
I would let it stand, but
I had no choice. I had no choice but to leave. I had no choice but to leave in shame. And I had a lot of people afterwards like texting me, "Yo, dude, are you alright? That's kind of fucked up." And they let him know that it was fucked up. One of the friends, not the person who was streaming, but one of my friends, he immediately was like, "Yo, dude, that's kind of fucked up." And he was like, "I don't care." And then everyone just kind of like started ganging up on him.
Yeah, thank God, man.
And then a little while later, I joined back, and I start like mad cussing him out on stream, and everyone was like, "Yo, we should probably cut the stream." And then afterwards, I just kind of like laid into him, and everybody was like, everyone was really mad at him, and then
like, yeah, what the fuck was this, man?
And then nothing really much happened from that. It kind of shifted the dynamic between me and him.
I'd imagine that would change some dynamics.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yes.
But a happy way to end this little story. The girl in question, we still remained friends, and then later on, we got together, and she is in fact my current girlfriend.
Hey!
Oh, look at that! Hey!
Let's go!
Hey, that's it!
So there is a happy ending to this story.
Fuck, man, that's it.
You love to see that.
I'm glad to hear that.
You love to see that.
That is a sweet ending. I don't know if this is gonna happen, but I can, a couple weeks ago, I asked my parents how they met, and they went for this very beautiful story about how they met in college.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see in the future, Bob, the parents, your kids ask you how you met. Like,
you want to know how I started talking to her? Yeah, you want to know how I started talking to her? I was friends with her on Snapchat, and one of my friends, the same guy who was the YouTuber, we had a Minecraft room open with our entire friend group, and I saw her she posted like a video of her playing Minecraft, and I was like, "Yo, nice to meet you. I'm Robert. Would you like to meet would you like to join a Minecraft room with me and my friends?" She was like, "Yeah, sure." And then we became friends from that. I started crushing on her. I got rejected 3 times, and then we got together.
Okay. So
damn, hey.
So
nice.
So okay, let's roll it back just real quick, because 3 times?
Oh yeah, I was down bad. Horrendously.
People corner.
Short bit, since we've been going a little bit over time. I was going to start something new, but what I will just do is I will continue my bit from last time, and we'll just talk a little bit more about Abdullah the Butcher, and we'll end it there.
Abdullah Part 2.
Abdullah Part 2.
Abdullah the Butcher. So, Abdullah the Butcher, very controversial figure. Of course, he wrestled with people in a very violent way. Mm-hmm. One recent thing that happened was a wrestler sued him because he had discovered that the razor blades that Abdullah the Butcher was using to cut open his opponents, he was not cleaning them.
Oh!
And he had infected, according to the wrestler suing him, he had infected several other wrestlers with hepatitis. So,
I mean, I guess this is what happens when you don't sterilize your opponent hunting implements. We all learned the lesson today. You gotta clean that razor blade before you cut somebody else. Or just don't do it. I think that's the real lesson learned.
Yeah, I feel like that's the lesson. Let's just not.
That's the real takeaway. That is pretty gross. I still stand by my claim. Like I understand, it's television. It's not real, but I know 2004 and the 2000s are a little bit different than today. Like how much of that was genuine and how much of that was more done for the fanfare or done for the show,
done for the love of the game.
All of it is done for the show. All of it's done for the game. Because here's the thing, you're becoming a successful wrestler is all dependent on whether or not the fans like you and they like your matches.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that drives people to insane level. People do a lot of stuff. If they feel like someone is over, that's the term we use. If someone is over, that means they are liked by fans, the fans like them. Then people will subject themselves to pretty much anything. Perfect story, just to again, sideway from Abdullah the Butcher, there was this one fat-ass Samoan by the name of Rikishi. He's a legend in this business. and he had this special move where he would literally pin someone in a corner, and he would plant his ass on their face, and essentially wipe his ass with their face.
Well,
That's
well,
one way to
we
go
all
about
have
it.
a thing.
That's one way to go about it.
And of course, this is the story. He called it the stink face, and there were a lot of people who thought, "I don't like this. This is a weird fucking move. I don't want to be subjected to this." But guess what? He was over.
They were
and
subjected
the
to it anyway.
move was over. No, that's not even the bit. That's a bit of it. Yeah, they were subjected to it anyway. People were begging because they wanted their match to be good because the fans loved it. So people were begging to get their face wiped in Kishi's ass. That's how this business works.
Are fans, are like WWE fans, are they aware that it's a show? Like, I feel like if I knew that it was an act, it would pull away from the power of the scene, right?
Part of it's like, think about it like this. It's a lot like
theater, right? Like I know that when I see like Alexander Hamilton, that's not actually Alexander Hamilton on the stage. I'm aware it's actually
It isn't.
Right?
There was so much passion in that. There isn't.
I'm so sorry about it. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, it is Alexander Hamilton. It's just the one I saw was like Santa Claus. It just
Thank God.
I thought I had to kill myself.
Man.
For the poor kid.
Kill yourself.
Right?
Kill yourself.
When I see a show, when I see Alexander Hamilton, right? Like, I know that actually isn't him, but that doesn't deter from it because I'm aware. But does that same thing apply to
wrestling?
To wrestling?
Oh, it kind of works like this. I would say it's almost exactly like theater, but it's also a little different because it's a lot like role playing. By pretending that you think it's real, you are essentially a part of the act, right? So like for instance, John Cena, when John Cena turned on Cody Rhodes very recently, John Cena is supposed to be this big hero guy. John Cena is now a villain. That eats me up inside. Obviously it doesn't because John Cena is just an actor. He's not actually a villain. But like being a part of that, being able to tell people, yo, John Cena betrayed me. You're now a part of the show. You're a part of this cultural event. There's where the fun comes in. Now, before, there used to be a blurring of the lines. Like, people really didn't want you to say it's fake. And to this, you don't really want to hear it all the time because then you can't really enjoy it as much. But, yeah, most people know it's fake. But now you're just in it. You're a part of it now. But saying you believe in it is kind of like the thing. Now,
this is a little bit like a Civil War reenactment. You are aware that it's not real. I know, Robert, I'm crushing your dreams again. But you can still go along with it.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Now, again, people take this too far. We don't really enjoy people getting actually hurt, and a lot of people didn't like Abdullah the Butcher. So, going back to Abdullah the Butcher, he did a lot of wrestling in the States. The reason I call him Japan's favorite African-American is because he did start wrestling in Japan. And for some people, for some reason, people really liked him. And you can tell that he had some cultural relevance because his design, aspects of his design were used for a Pokemon, believe it or not, which I have shared in the chat.
Wow,
you will see 3 distinct ridges in the heads, in the head area.
Does that make sense? When would that be? Like, 1990? 89?
Something like that. When was Machoke and Machamp invented?
I was Generation 1, base gen, which was, let me Google.
Yeah. But there you go. The 3 cuts in his scalp.
That was 1999. That's a bit later than I thought. So actually could have been
1999.
Oh no, 96. It was released abroad in 1999, but it was in 1996.
So there you go. So he became a bit of a cultural icon. Still kind of hated, but the Japanese, they liked him enough where they were like, "Hey, the 3 lines, it's indicative of Abdullah the Butcher." So,
fair enough.
The rest of this, there's a lot of details to it. He traveled around. He, apparently he couldn't read. He was really illiterate. Like, he was literally sustaining himself off of violent wrestling. This guy could have been insane, possibly. Most likely, he was
possibly. You say he cut he cut dents into his head with razors.
Look, I'm no psychological expert. I am not a psychologist, but if I had to put money on the table,
I know which color I'm betting on. All in on red, baby. All in on.
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, he's a little nuts. So
interesting.
We finally get to the last point of this story. I'm gonna go over a particular match he had. So we're gonna introduce another man, a brother in Islam. His name is Michael Muhammad Knight. Or it might just be Michael Muhammad Knight. Anyway, Michael Muhammad Knight, he's a journalist, he's an author, he's a writer. He also, he likes wrestling. He actually does enjoy wrestling. And he has enjoyed some stints as a kind of amateur wrestler, right? That's like something he's been doing. So, for fun, he wrote a book. And then during his, I think it was like during a signing of his book, he had a match. And he decided that the best person to invite to have this match was Abdullah the Butcher.
No, bad idea. Why are we doing that?
And then he fucking shot it. No.
I am putting out that if you were going to have a book signing event, Abdullah the Butcher does not seem the kind of person who would attend a book signing event, right? A book selling event sounds, that seems a bit more like,
a professional event.
Yeah.
So
something for someone who can read.
You're gonna walk in with your coffee into a nice little meeting. You get your book signed by David Allen or whatever, but you're not gonna go in as Abdullah the Butcher.
It's not a high octane event. A book signing.
I'm not. I'd be more inclined to go to like a book signing if I was getting a book signed by like David Attenborough or Stephen King, and not like Gorlock the Destroyer.
Oh, are you telling me you wouldn't go to Gorlock the Destroyer's book signing? That's the only book signing I would ever go to for Gorlock the Destroyer.
I don't see like King Charles attending a Abdullah the Butcher book signing. I don't think that's
it's what it is. He wrote, I don't know what it was. It was like either he was writing a book about wrestling. He writes a lot of weird books based mostly around his experience as a Muslim. So it was something, and like he might have thrown in a nod to how, I was really into wrestling as a child. And so during the Decatur Book Festival, they had an event basically where he would fight Abdullah the Butcher in reference to his passion for professional wrestling. During this fight, and mind you, we always refer to Michael Muhammad Knight as an author, not a wrestler. He might wrestle, but he is first and foremost an author. So at this book festival, Abdullah the Butcher, quote unquote, pummeled Knight with chairs, forks, and a water cooler. And he didn't even step into the ring.
Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
He didn't even step. He just beat his ass outside the wrestling ring at this event.
Naturally, as you do. As you do.
Knight was
we all have lapse of consciousness sometimes.
Lapse of consciousness. He beat him with a water cooler. He beat him with a water cooler.
Sometimes they're really big lapses of consciousness.
Sometimes we all have lapses of judgment, Sam. It's like, it's like one of those situations where you're, watching wrestling and all of a sudden 9/11's happening and you're just watching wrestling instead of doing something to help. It's like one of those situations,
What? I was like, what? I wasn't
That's no excuse! That's no excuse!
All right. Yeah, blame the fall of America on the lone Muslim.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
I believe I found the book you're talking about. It's called Magic in Islam, and it's by Michael Muhammad Knight about the journeys of being a professional wrestler within Islamic communities. I put into the chat.
Oh God!
Oh, look at that! Magic in Islam. He's not a professional
you can
wrestler.
Put that book up as a little nod, something.
A progenitor of Muslim punk rock, and one of today's freshest spiritual voices. Yeah, no. Progenitor of punk rock. Yeah, I mean, he put his body on the line. He took a water cooler to the head.
So it wasn't asked for? Or did Abdullah the Butcher just walk up to Muhammad here and be like, "Hey, can I get a book signed?" So my pen ran out. Son of a bitch, and just went nuts.
No, I mean it It was asked for. This was supposed to be an actual wrestling match at this book festival. He did it as a show. They just, the wrestling happened outside of the ring, so the actual validity of it.
He's just like done with the shit. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. Gave me the water cooler. I don't need a drink now. Just give me the water cooler. I'm gonna smash this guy's brains. So just give me about 5.
It's like, oh yeah, I heard you wrote a book. I know I didn't read it. I'm illiterate. Starts jabbing forces.
You know I'm illiterate, man.
You know I'm illiterate.
All right, well,
so he was taken. He was taken from this book festival, and he received 46 stitches. And that's the story of Michael Muhammad Knight. Muhammad Knight.
We all had moments in the limelight.
That's how Michael got butchered by the butcher. Oh
got butchered by the butcher.
And
that's it. That's the end.
The water cooler still throw. Like, of all the things to beat someone with, a water cooler is up there.
I mean, hey, he also jabbed him with forks. I mean, you can't be surprised with Abdullah with the butcher, man. He cuts people open. That's just the person he is.
with not disinfected blades. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move to closing statements. Because
before we get to closing statements, I want to introduce. I feel bad that that Papal Corner has ended. Can I introduce a new corner?
Yep.
Yes.
Can I introduce Dom's talks? Zootopia update corner.
Oh, yeah. And then they're gonna release the movie like next week.
Well, that's what I'm hoping.
You know what?
If that happens,
Sure.
It's a win.
Oh, you're trying to use the
Is this acceptable?
You're trying to game the system to get your goddamn movie out in a week. Fuck you. No, you don't get a new segment. You don't get a new segment.
I have notes. I have a new. Oh, fine.
No. You don't get a new segment because we've been recording for an hour and 45 minutes, and I'm gonna end this episode now. Closing statement.
There we go. Yo.
It is closing statements time. Samuel, please hit me with a closing statement. Hit me with a closing statement right now. Hit me with your best closing statement.
Closing statements. Love and
What's
wrestling.
going on? Hold on. One moment, Samuel. What's going on, Mr. Giggles? What's up? You got something to say? You got something to say, Mr. Giggles?
He's high on coffee.
I can't stop laughing.
He had to mute himself.
Oh my god, bro.
Samuel, please.
Okay.
We're all ears.
Closing statements. Love, wrestling, and medical supplies. Ladies and gentlemen, never underestimate the power of weaponized autism. It can get you a girlfriend, it can get you a wrestling career, and, it can keep you employed when you really shouldn't be employed at all working with children. Be yourself, and, if you think you're doing something right, chances are you are, because people have made it by on less. That's my closing statement.
Fantastic. What a hopeful message to today's youth, of which I'm almost positive we do not have an audience of. Robert, can I get a closing statement out of you, please?
Oh God, if you or one of your friends is a Minecraft YouTuber, do not play Build Battle with him or those friends, especially if somebody who you love very deeply is present, and if somebody that you hate very deeply is also present.
Yeah, do not.
It worked out in the end, though, didn't it?
It did work out in the end. So,
it did work out in the end, though, but it did take a year to work out.
Listen, I would argue the long-term gain outweighs the short-term loss. I would argue you should be saying, you should be playing Build Battle with your enemies.
Yeah, make sure you get publicly. Okay, yeah, you know what? I changed my closing statement. Be publicly humiliated at every turn.
That's like been my strategy this whole show.
Always look for an opportunity to humiliate you. That is your strategy for the show. And it works really well. It makes great content. Your short-term loss is our long-term gain.
All right. And Dom, you're next.
Dom, oh, thank God. Someone remembered the order. Thank you, Samuel. Oh, my God. Okay. Dominic, yes. Dominic, please.
My closing statement is simple. There was a rumor out there that Zootopia 2, the trailer, be released today, but it will not be released today. I collaborated with the guy who posted it, and I do not believe it's released today. I'm interjecting my corner. You have to deal with it. Also, if you have an apartment in the Rochester area, I am still looking for an apartment. Please send me the email. Thank you.
Stop! You keep showing me the fucking.
I'm so sorry, Jacob. I had to. The bit had to be committed to.
You've done it like 4 weeks in a row. You've been
Are you actually still looking for an apartment?
No, I'm not. I haven't I anything else to pedal. I gotta pedal something. I didn't know what I mean.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much. Closing statement. I hope you die. I can't stand you. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh man, the best.
I'm sorry. I had to, Jacob. I had to.
What about you, Jacob? What's your closing statement?
That was it.
Well, I don't know. Well, hold on.
Let's
Let's try something else.
Okay.
And then we'll see which one sticks in the edit. I think my actual closing statement might be. I'm feeling high. I'm liking what Dominic's doing with his little segments. I think I might launch my own. I can't even finish my closing statement. Mr. Giggles is taking over today.
I'm sorry. I gotta mute myself.
No, I want to hear what. Unmute yourself right now, Buster. What are you giggling about? What did you find so funny? What did you find so funny?
I'm so you just simply said that you enjoyed something there too. That so rarely happens. Usually I insert my segment of the show. You're like, oh, son of a bitch, I gotta edit this now. It's like an extra half hour of my life. I'm not gonna get that. Usually you like heavily disprove. I'm quite thrilled that you want to introduce a corner. Yes, add to the corners of this polyhedron podcast we have.
I have an idea for a corner that I want to introduce next episode, and I have a whole. I have ideas. I have schemes. So tune into the next one, and you'll see the payoff of my schemes.
I really am quite interested.
Yeah. That's it. I wanted to do my own version of shilling because apparently that's what we fucking do now. By the way, really quick end note, like really quick. You remember the other day I was complaining about how loose my microphone is?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I fixed it the other day. Do you want to guess how I fixed it?
Nice. How?
You punched it.
I punched it. I punched it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I punched. I was playing. I played CS2 with the other night, and I punched it because he was pissing me off.
Oh my god!
Stop being loose. I fixed the problem.
Oh my fucking god!
It just goes to show you can fix most of your problems with violence.
Yeah.
Damn.
I just set my current mic stand right now for the day. You can put this into the show. That's my mic stand for the show.
Yeah. I still hate it. I still hate it.
I love it.
It's a microphone attached
to
a bungee.
It is like it's on a bottle. I mean,
it's a microphone attached via bungee cord to the top of a wiper fluid bottle, which is almost empty. How that thing is standing upright is a mystery to me, but
it's been amazing because I've been like falling over laughing the entire show and it hasn't budged. It's a miracle. Divine providence, as some would call it.
Maybe it's the spirit of Pope Francis blessing us one last time with a standing.
God bless you, Francis.
God bless you.
We're gonna miss you, man.
Holy Spirit keeping this bottle afloat here. I think that's the show right there.
Yeah, that's the show.
Hashtag Dom should make a corner called Zootopia Talks About Dom Corner.
That's not.
Damn it, that was backwards. I was gonna try to sneak in behind your back, and I messed that up.
I hate you so
It was too obvious. It was too long. Hashtag Zootopia Corner. Hashtag Zootopia.
Yeah, I better see a bunch of hashtag. I better see hashtag Zootopia Corners in the comments. I better see them.
No. I think every time the name should be different and longer. Hashtag Dom talks about Zootopia Corner. Hashtag Dom reminisces upon the world of Zootopia Corner. It just keeps getting longer and longer.
Hashtag Dog talks
theorizes about the fictional universe created by Disney of Zootopia Corner. It gets longer.
Hashtag.
That's crazy. Did you guys hear that really long bleep that just happened? That's crazy. I can't believe that. I can't believe Sam made that sound with his mouth. That's wild.